Welcome to the 2022 MDDC Contest Awards presentation. My name is Rebecca Snyder, and I'm the Executive Director of the Maryland-Delaware DC Press Association, and we are delighted to highlight outstanding journalism throughout the region. Today, we'll focus on revenue generators, targeted publications, our Best Moves category, which is an audience participation award, and design. Let's get started. I'm Rebecca Snyder, Executive Director of the Maryland-Delaware DC Press Association, and I am delighted to share the best of our regional journalism with you today in our 2022 Contest and Awards program. Today, we'll focus on revenue generators, targeted publications, our Best Moves category, which needs audience participation, and design. Let's get started. Our first section are revenue generators. And in our first category within the section, we have the new business concept, Wildcard. In second place, we have Karen Chericks, Brittany Passon, Chris Elliott, Teddy Griffith, and Greg English of the Seaford Star, and Dana Peck and Aria Brent snag first place for the Afro. Congratulations. In Division B, Samantha Bang, Connie Hastings, and Mike Santos win second place for the Frederick News Post, and their colleagues, Samantha Bang, Brittany Hamilton, and Josh Smith, win first place. Our next category is Best Event. In Division F, Lenora Howes of the Afro wins second place, and her colleague, Diane Hawker, snags first. Congratulations. Our best event in Division B goes to Samantha Bang and Connie Hastings of the Frederick News Post for their Best of the Best celebration. Our next section is the advertising campaign. In Division F, Lenora Howes of the Afro wins first prize for JP Morgan Chase Finance's FYI. Our next section is news media promotions. And our first category within that section is community service program. In second place, the staff of the Seaford Star wins. They also win first place for breast cancer awareness. Congratulations to the Seaford Star for sweeping Division F. Our next category is self-promotion advertising. And in first place, Karen Chericks of the Seaford Star wins first prize for Don't Get Faked Out. In Division B, Samantha Bang, Connie Hastings, Anna Joyce, Talia Valencia, and Brittany Hamilton of the Frederick News Post win first prize for the Best of the Best Reader's Choice Contest Awards. We now move to targeted publications as our next section. Within that section, let's highlight the advertising-driven special pubs in-paper product. In second place, we have the staff of the Laurel Star, and their colleagues at the Seaford Star win first place for Ag Week. Congratulations to Carol Kinsley, Mike McClure, Brittany Passon, and Karen Chericks. In Division E, the staff of Coastal Point wins first prize for Home for the Holidays. In Division C, Patrick Brannon and the staff of the Daily Record win second prize, and Delaware State News snags first for Bay to the Beach Winter 2022. Congratulations to Tom Maglio and Laura Walter. In Division B, the staff at the Frederick News Post, Samantha Bang, Graham Cullen, Andrew Schatz, and Connie Hastings wins first prize for Hello Frederick. Our next category is the advertising-driven special publication, Standalone. In Division O, Nicole Allen, Susan Dunn, and Charlie Herrick win first prize for the Baltimore Fish Bowl for their Guide to Independent Schools. In Division F, the Seaford Star wins second prize with Mike McClure, Karen Sherricks, and Brittany Passon, and the staff of the Seaford Star wins first prize for wedding planner. Congratulations. In Division E, the staff of Coastal Point wins first prize for Delaware Seaside Bride. In Division C, Patrick Brannon and the staff of the Daily Record win second prize and sweep the category, winning first prize, this time for Homegrown Harford 2022. In Division B, the Frederick News Post snags first prize with Samantha Bang, Mary Kate Battles, and Katina Zentz winning first prize for Frederick Weddings 2022. Our next category is News-Driven Special Section. Second prize in Division F goes to Mike McClure of the Seaford Star, and he also wins first prize for the Salute to Champions, Del Mar Field Hockey and Laurel Football. Congratulations. In Division E, Coastal Point staff wins second prize, and the team of Dan Olds and Misha Green wins first prize for the Washington Informer for 2022 Year in Review. In Division C, Joy Tyler and the staff of the Daily Record win second prize, and the duo of Patrick Brannon and Brian Sears win first prize for the Daily Record with their Eye on Annapolis 2022 Summit. In Division B, the Frederick News Post snags first prize for Samantha Bang, Andrew Schatz, Graham Cullen, and Connie Hastings for Tribute to Veterans. Special Niche Website is our next category, and Coastal Point staff wins first prize for Delaware Seaside Bride. Congratulations. For our Custom Pub category, our second place winner is Tom Maglio and Laura Walter of the Dorchester Banner, and first prize goes to the Afro, Denise Dorsey, Lenora Halsey, and Diane Hawker for their 130th anniversary gala. And for custom publication in Division E, Pantea Tafanji and Susan Kim win second prize for the Business Monthly, and they add in Emily Calkins for a winning trio to snag first place for Historic Ellicott City, celebrating the 250th anniversary. In Division D, the staff of Catholic Review win first prize for Teachers of the Year. In Division C, Tom Maglio and Laura Walter of Delaware State News win second prize, and the Daily Record's Patrick Brannon, Cami Collier, and Angela Nye win first prize for Way to Be 2022. In Division B, the Frederick News Post wins second prize, highlighting Samantha Bang, Jennifer Gerlach, and Shelby Malley. And the Frederick News Post also wins first prize in this category for Gateway Summer Edition. Congratulations to Samantha Bang, James Constantine, and Vicki Grinder. Our next category is Best Moves. Best Moves highlights the best move that our nominees felt their news organization made in 2022. What you'll see next is a video clip from each of our nominees. We have 3, and your job will be to vote until Thursday, May 4th, until midnight at https://bit.ly/MDDC-best-moves to select who you think had the best move of 2022. Our first nominee is the Catholic Review. For this Best Move segment, we'll be talking to Chris Gunty of Catholic Review Media. Welcome, Chris.
Hi, good to be here.
Absolutely. I wanted to share your best move or have you share your best move for 2022 for Catholic Review. And I understand it created a significant change within your publication and news organization. So tell us what your best move was.
Thanks, Rebecca. There's a lot of publications that do market research. There's a lot of publications that do redesigns. We put ours together and we really made sure that they all work together. We're all in this business. We've looked at, especially in 2021 and 2022, a huge increase in paper costs. For us, mailing postage costs are a huge part because we're primarily delivered by the U.S. mail. And so, of course, the finance folks here have always looked at, gee, is it really worth it to keep doing a print product and mailing that? And so we said, let's find out. Instead of just say, oh, we could save that money. Let's find out. So what we did was we surveyed readers. We engaged a survey company to do that, and surveyed readers. And we found that not only was it a good idea to keep the print product, but it would be essential. So we had the normal questions of demographics and things like that, and how often are you reading? But what we found was that about 80% had read 3 of the last 4 issues in print, and 2/3 had read all 4 of the last 4 issues in print. And so that was really high. But then we asked, how would they continue to read the Catholic Review if it was online only, if there was no print edition? And 77% said they would read less or significantly less if there was no print edition.
That's surprising.
That's huge. It's huge. And we're a niche publication. We're not a daily. We're a monthly with a combined July-August issue, and we have a huge online presence, an e-newsletter, and all of those things. We have a radio show, all of those things. But to find out that people really wanted this print edition in their home was critical. It's like, okay, now we have that information, but we also know we're not necessarily reaching minority communities well. We also, there were some things that we found that people wanted more of or less of. And one of the things, we converted from a newspaper to a magazine several years ago. We were still kind of thinking of ourselves as a newspaper in glossy format. And we had gotten a new graphic designer, and she said, well, let's take this information and really embrace being a magazine. One of the things the survey told us was that people like the longer stories, more depth, more interest there. So we said, okay, if we can give those stories more room, bigger pictures, more white space, make it more attractive, will that help the readers? And so we took the data from the survey, went into a redesign. The redesign was done in-house, so it kept our costs down a lot. And then we jumped into that full-fledged and said, what do we need to do to make this a new thing? Came up with a new logo, new tagline, real life, real faith. So that our tagline before was inspiring the Archdiocese of Baltimore. And then we said, no, this is about helping people live their real life in the context of faith. And so we moved forward on that. And what was unique was that it wasn't just, oh, let's do a redesign and make things look prettier. And it wasn't just, let's do a survey and then put it on the shelf. It was, let's do a survey and then embrace that and make a complete redesign and use that to better reach our readers.
It really strikes me that you went and we're really, in some respects, this was a community-led process, that when you're deeply listening to the community you serve, you let them guide what they need and what they want out of your publication. Was that has that been part of how you have approached design and newsmaking previously, or was this a change for you all?
It was, in a sense. We've always been a community publication, but in this way we did a similar survey in 2016, so we were able to compare some of the results, word for word on the questioning. But it was a matter of saying, okay, this is how the community perceives us. How do we help that community connect better? And those are the kinds of things I think that helped. One of the interesting things that came out of this was that we asked, there are certain features that are in the magazine every month. Are there some that you want to see more or less of? And one of the things that it wasn't a lot, it was about 15%, but they said they wanted less of my column, my editor's notebook.
Ouch.
We dropped it. We dropped it, and now I write an occasional column in the back of the book, in our Amen section, kind of our last word. But they said they could do with less of me, and I'm like, okay, less of me, and that gives us more room to spread out these stories and make them more attractive to people. So we did it.
So I feel like the Catholic Review has a kind of a different model than some of the traditional news outlets and publications, because you do deliver directly to people's homes, but you're also available in churches throughout. It's not the entire state, but I know your geographic jurisdiction goes pretty far out, maybe to Frederick. Can you talk a little bit about who your community is and how you distribute and why that's important?
Sure, it's very diverse. We go from Havre de Grace to West River, all the way out to Garrett County. We're spitting distance of West Virginia at that point. So we cover all of Maryland except for the Eastern Shore and the collar counties around DC. So everything else, and so that's a wide range of people, languages, cultures, all of those things are embraced. One of the things we're looking to do at some point is to create a quarterly Spanish publication to reach Hispanic Catholics. So it really shapes who we are, and it also means that we have to get out there and be with people. If you're a community newspaper that serves a small area, it's not that hard to cover the city council and those kinds of things, the local school board and that. For us, we've got to, kind of make a run out to Frederick and Cumberland and Hagerstown and Garrett County and Frostburg. Head all the way out that way, or head up north into Harford County, down into southern Anne Arundel County, just to make sure that we're covering everybody. It's tough to do with a small staff, but we like to do it and we like to get out there. Our photographer is one of the best people at this because we can do some of those stories by phone, but he's got to be there. And so he's really one of our best ambassadors because he's out there meeting the community all the time. He brings back ideas all the time and says, hey, I'm hearing this. And some of that factored into the design of what he's hearing out in the community.
That's terrific. So you did the redesign in the fall of 2022, and it was a community-led process. It sounds like it radically shifted the look and feel of the publication. And I love the tagline of real life, real faith. Did I get that right?
Yep.
Okay. So what's next then? How do you build on that best move to continue serving your constituency and providing news sources?
Well, as I mentioned, we are looking to hire a full-time bilingual reporter who would be able to help lead the way to creating a bilingual publication or a Spanish publication that would come out quarterly. But the other thing that we're trying to do is to try to find out which of the people who are registered in our parishes are not getting the magazine. And so we're probably going to, in the early fall, do a postcard campaign. We can do a merge purge against the registration lists and invite them and just say, hey, if you're not getting the Catholic Review, you should be. We'd be glad to send it to you. How do you want to sign up? And of course, that'll involve QR codes and all those things. We've also been going out to various festivals and things like that. We were at the Merriweather Symphony of Lights in December, just to have a presence there and get people familiar with what we're doing. We were at a wine festival in Ellicott City in the fall. So we're just kind of trying to get out and meet people and get feedback and figure out how best to improve things.
That sounds wonderful, and it sounds like a really good move for 2022. So thank you, Chris, for sharing the Catholic Review's best move. And for all those listening, you will be able to vote on the Catholic Review's best move along with our other nominees at the poll, which is found in the comments of this video. So thank you so much. See you soon.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Our next nominee is the Frederick News Post. Welcome, everyone. We're back with Best Moves 2022. This time I'm here with Brittany Hamilton, the ad director of the Frederick News Post, and Lauren LaRocca, the editor of 72 Hours. And they're here to talk to us about the Frederick News Post's Best Move of 2022. Brittany, do you want to start us off and let us know what that move was?
Sure. So we have at the Frederick News Post a special supplement called 72 Hours that runs in our paper every Thursday. That is a focus. It's kind of like your weekend entertainment guide. So everything kind of coming up over the next 72 hours and a little beyond in the community. So everything from arts to entertainment to events to just really great family activities. And it was a really popular section that we had for many, many years. Of course, COVID comes along and totally really put a big damper on that special publication that we did and really took a huge hit to the arts, as we all know. So at that time, we were really forced to run it as ROP pages. So that beautiful section that we had that, we also put into the paper, and we had lots of copies that were distributed throughout downtown and throughout the arts community went away. And we just kind of ran them as pages in the paper during COVID. And honestly, we lost about half of our revenue that we had on an annual basis. So it was pretty devastating, not only to the arts community, but to us as well. As things started to change in the environment, we saw things starting to get a little better. The community was starting to open up, and we really felt a need to help that entertainment community and help our downtown really get back on its feet and start to thrive again. We thought it may be time to start having the discussion of bringing back our 72 Hours publication. So at that time, we had an internal discussion with advertising and news to see what we should do to start that discussion. And I think from that meeting, we decided we really wanted it to have the community involved, so we could really have the advertising support and really see if they felt we were at a place to kind of bring it back and that they would support it. So Lauren, I don't know if you would like to talk a little bit about, we kind of got a group of people together from all different industries, and we had a series of kind of webinars that we had solicited feedback, and I'll let you talk a little about that.
Yeah, Laura, tell us more.
Yeah, I know that we did bring together a lot of people who are sort of major players, like big venues, art centers, things like that, nonprofits. But we also had individual artists who have just been really involved and huge fans of 72 Hours, like writers, visual artists, musicians. So there was a lot of those people on these focus groups, and everyone really just wanted to see it come back. And like Brittany explained, we just wanted to ensure that we had the ad support to make this sustainable again. And I mean, to give a little bit of context, just a little backstory, I worked on 72 Hours for many years, for about 12 years, before leaving the News Post for a few years and then coming back during the pandemic when 72 Hours was just a few pages in the broadsheet. It had gone from about a 12-page tab to 40 pages in the years prior. So this is my passion, and I just know that it's so beloved by this community, and not just Frederick County, but people in surrounding counties have told me for years that that's their source for events and what to do that weekend and what's going on in the arts community. And I also want to point out that even before the pandemic, I watched similar publications of this size disappear and not come back. And the pandemic, of course, also aggravated that. But so I really do feel like this is a success story, and I think we owe it really to the community more than anything, because they wanted it so much, and without that support we probably couldn't have brought it back to a tab.
And actually, I'm interested that it was brought back as a publication, as a physical print publication, because it would have been, it had been folded into the newspaper. You could have brought it back as online. What went into some of that thinking as to the format? Because you had almost a wide open slate.
So,
right.
72 Hours, and Brittany, you can speak to
Sure.
this too, but I don't know if this has been mentioned. We do an overrun, so there are free copies for people to pick up all across the county and a little bit into the surrounding counties. So I think a lot of people who frequent bars and coffee shops and music venues, they just looked forward to, like, because I heard this for years, to going and picking up their copy of 72 and leafing through it. And even though we tend to think of that as being this older demographic who wants their print copy, I think it was just a different kind of publication, like almost like an alt weekly where people just love seeing it and picking it up and sharing it and that sort of thing. So to have it be online only, I mean, yes, we could still provide the same information, but I don't think it would have had that impact, that thing that people love about the brand of 72.
And that was one of the things that came out in the focus group. I mean, we did have discussions on format, and we did have people say they wanted to see a little more digital focus with it, but they didn't necessarily want to see the print piece go away. And I think we do a really great job of distributing it throughout the county. I mean, I see people sitting in coffee shops of all ages looking at it. It's really in really high traffic locations throughout the county that makes sense, right? Because of the nature of the business. But one of the things that we did have the opportunity to do, because we were relaunching it, was really redevelop our advertising packages. So now the packages include a print ad in a section. We also included a digital ad in our On the Town email newsletter, which is kind of a nice kind of synergy with 72, because On the Town is like everything that's going on. And those email blasts go out, I think it's every Thursday. So we partnered the print with the email component, which actually has about almost 23,000 opt-in subscribers to it. So we really just increased the value of the reach that they're getting through the email component. And also we included digital ad impressions on our website. So the package really includes 3 kind of platforms when they buy that. So that way they are kind of taking that message and getting it out a little more digitally when they purchase packages.
And it strikes me like that's so well integrated. And I think also in a county like Frederick County, you know, that gives such an opportunity to smaller organizations or artists to really gain that platform that I don't believe they could find anywhere else. Have you measured or seen the effect on smaller venues or artists?
I have absolutely seen it and heard it. And it's funny that you say that, because I've heard artists and venues in Baltimore and DC saying, we can't get the coverage. And they're asking me for coverage, because we do sometimes cover wider areas, but no, I don't really think anyone else is covering the art scene the way that 72 Hours is.
And to that, I mean, I think, you know, you had mentioned, I think when we started the call, a lot of newspapers have kind of gone away. They've eliminated some of those special publications. So that is one of our areas for growth and continued development of 72. We really see the opportunity right now to expand into adjacent counties where we know they're weak and they don't really have that entertainment presence. So that is kind of the next step on our agenda, is to really take it and expand it into, you know, maybe Washington County, and really just kind of develop it that way. And then also take the model with the new packages that we've developed and maybe implement it in other Ogden markets who maybe don't currently have, you know, an entertainment piece that are part of our own company. So I think that's kind of up for discussion as well right now.
What a great opportunity to scale that to serve the community that you already exist and live in, and bring back a well-loved publication. That really does sound like a wonderful best move for the Frederick News Post. Thank you so much for taking some time to speak with me about it today. And for all of our listeners, you can vote for the best move for the MDDC annual conference at the poll link in the comments. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our third nominee is the Baltimore Sun. Now it's your turn. Please go online and vote for who you thought had the best move of 2022. Again, that link is on our screen. Please go ahead and vote for your best move. You have until Thursday at midnight. Thanks so much. The winner will be announced at MDDC's conference and awards event on Friday, May 5th in Annapolis. Now let's move on to our design categories. Our first category in this section is Restaurant Entertainment Ad Large Print. In Division F, Brittany Passon and Chris Elliott of the Seaford Star win second prize, and Brittany does it again, winning first prize with her colleague Teddy Griffith for the Seaford Star for Pizza King Afram. Congratulations. In Division E, Chris Aub of Coastal Point wins second prize, and Cape Gazette snags first with Roz Indian Fusion. Congratulations to Abby Workman and Lauren Zenowiski. Today, we're talking to Tricia Bishop, the editorial page editor of the Baltimore Sun, about the best move that the Baltimore Sun did in 2022. Now, Tricia, this your best move really comes in the context of a lot of work that you've been doing over the past couple years to understand the Sun's role in sort of the racial makeup of the city and looking to connect with readers, journalists, and community members. Can you talk a little bit more about your best move?
What we saw as our best move last year was a deeply researched apology that the paper put together and published in February of 2022 for its role in furthering systemic racism in the communities that we serve. We saw this as a significant step in an evolution that we had been undergoing for maybe the last decade. Really took off since Freddie Gray's death in police custody in 2015, when a lot of institutions were turning a light on themselves to sort of look at their practices, both present and in the past, to see what they might have been doing or are still doing to contribute to the oppression of Black communities.
How did you decide that this was the right thing to do at this time?
We've been making steps since 2015, as I mentioned. We'd done a content audit to see where we were, what we were publishing in the paper adequately represented the communities around us, or if we were concentrating in just certain areas. We put together a diversity committee that was helping to guide the paper in an evolution to become more inclusive and equitable. We created a cultural competency guide. We took some of these other steps. We had some outreach happening with different groups in the community to kind of talk about what ways we could improve, what things we might not be seeing, some of us in the paper. And then this really came about. There were calls from both within our newsroom and from organizations outside the newsroom to account for our own past. And our diversity committee really kicked things off, I'd say, in 2021. They were formed around that time, a little earlier, but they had spent, one of the main reasons they were formed was to really put together a proposal to call for the paper to apologize for its past. I mean, the Sun was founded in 1837 in Maryland, below the Mason-Dixon line, and we had from its very earliest days, there was evidence that it supported slavery, and not just the words, but we ran ads for slave trading, for escaped enslaved people. And then there are examples throughout the paper's writings, both on the news side and the editorial side for years afterward, that clearly endorsed segregation or actively sought to oppress Black Marylanders, free or enslaved, dependent upon when the timing was. And then as we went forward, we really looked at, through the years, what else we had been doing, maybe not as blatantly as we did in early years, but it wasn't until the 1950s that the Sun hired its first Black reporters. It wasn't until 1970s until we hired a first Black woman reporter. And maybe to show you how far we've come in some ways, that woman was Wanda Draper, who last year we inducted into our Business and Civic Hall of Fame at the paper for her work then, but also much of the work she's gone on to do in the Baltimore community beyond her reporting days. But So the apology, then we felt we really needed to put together something that laid out what our role had been. We, especially on the editorial board, we call on others to take responsibility for their actions, and we are constantly asking for change. It's only right that we do the same thing at the Sun. Our Sun librarian was part of the diversity team. The deputy editorial page editor at the time was also part of the diversity team, and she had a strong hand in putting together the proposal and some early parts of the apology itself. But through that and through agreement with the leadership at the newspaper, we decided that this is something we should do as a step in our ongoing evolution to really publicly put our past out there, explain what we're doing to try to change it, and then empower both colleagues within the newspaper and then the community, the greater community around us, to now really hold us accountable. We just really want it to be a dialogue so that we can best serve the entire community around us. I mean, that is ultimately our goal, is to serve our communities and bring a true picture of the world today.
Part of the project was to invite the community in a very public way to weigh in. Tell me a little bit about that part of the process, because that is, I feel like that shows a lot of vulnerability.
When we put the apology out, we knew that it was going to be, some of the feedback was going to be tough to see, that it was not going to be received necessarily well among every community member. Some people questioned our motives. Some people thought we didn't go quite far enough. We did receive a lot of kind words about it that was encouraging, but understanding all of that, we knew it was the right thing to do, and that's why we decided to move forward. And as part of the reason we're doing this is we wanted to be held accountable, and we want to do better going forward with the paper. So we made a point of engaging readers and asking them for input and their responses to the apology itself. We ran across a 2-page spread just on one day, a weekend after the apology ran, sort of the initial reactions we were getting from people. Some of them were difficult, and it was difficult because you're looking at, it's an institution that we love and are proud of the work that we do, but you really have to face that there are some flaws, and have been some flaws, and there are things that need to change even today. So people wrote in with very personal stories in some cases, talking about instances in their own families where a woman had written about the murder of her brother and said that she tried anything she could do to get attention from the Sun, and that it was dismissed. Or we had people pointing out that the paper had historically taken the word of police over the community, despite evidence that we should really be listening to what's going on in the community. There were a lot of letters along those lines. Then we also reached out to area scholars who seeking to hold the Sun accountable, and in ways that we should be. We also partnered with the Maryland Lynching Truth and Reconciliation Commission to solicit information on some a racial terror lynching that they were seeking to eliminate, and again did a dive into the Sun's archives to see what we had written at the time.
How do you reconcile the past with the work you're trying to do now? And how does this project kind of set you up to move forward as an organization that seeks to reflect the community that it serves and really bring to light those stories?
A lot of the very blatant actions that we're talking about occurred in the 1800s and the early 1900s. These people are long gone, but some of the were more sins of omission, I would say, in terms of we did not necessarily show Black communities in a light of achievement and excellence. It might appear more in a crime story, or again, we might have put too much weight on authorities' claims of an event, say law enforcement, when many community members are trying to come forward to tell us something different. We might have not necessarily done coverage in the same way for all communities. It's we at Sun in particular, you know, we are our motto is light for all, and light is a disinfectant. So when we are kind of working from a baseline now, where we have put out what we have seen as our infractions in the past, we acknowledge them, we own them, whether we personally committed them or not. It's an institutional failure that we are seeking to redress. And so going forward, I think now that that's been put out there, we now expect, and that we've asked the community to hold us accountable, we now hope that occurs. And that has been, and we still receive letters. We had a discussion within the newsroom recently about some coverage that there was a conflict over whether we should have written a story at all, but even our staff inside will raise the issue of, we wrote this apology and this is what we're trying to do. So, you know, it comes up with some regularity. And I think it's, as I said before, empowered people to reach out. We have asked for your feedback. We have asked for your input. We have put out there what we have done wrong. We truly want to improve on an institutional level, which means across all departments, and to better serve the Baltimore communities around us.
It sounds like you have sort of taken that piece and used it almost as a standard, so that it continues with you, and it wasn't just okay, we've apologized and now we've moved on. So it sounds like it really was your best move of 2022. And thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you for your time.
In Division D, DJ Short snags first prize for the Sussex County Post. In Division C, she does it again at the Delaware State News for Trevi Ristorante. Congratulations. Our next category is Restaurant Entertainment Ad, Small Print. In Division F, Brittany Passon and Chris Elliott of Laurel Star win second place, and Chris does it again, this time with Karen Sherricks at the Seaford Star, winning first prize for the Laurel American Legion Crab Feast. Congratulations. In Division E, Chris Alb of Coastal Point wins second prize, and Pantea Tofanji wins first prize for the Business Monthly for Rogan Art, now open at the historic Savage Mill. In Division B, Kathy Smith and Noelle Hallman of the Frederick News Post win for Sage Cakery. Our next category is Retail Ad, Large Print Only. In Division F, Brittany Passon and Chris Elliott win second prize for Seaford Star, and Karen Sherricks and Chris Elliott win first prize for the Seaford Star for Jeff's Greenhouse. Congratulations. In Division E, Chris Alb wins a second prize again for Coastal Point, and first place goes to Cape Gazette and the team of Abby Workman and Kathy McGinty for Shed Crazy, 'Tis the Season. In Division B, Kathy Smith and Noelle Hallman of the Frederick News Post win first prize for Frederick Farmers Market. Our next category is Retail Ad, Small Print Only. In Division F, Karen Sherricks and Greg English of Laurel Star win second prize, and Brittany Passon and Chris Elliott of Seaford Star win first prize for Marvelous Produce. In Division E, Kristen Sinat and Lauren Zenowski of Cape Gazette win second prize, and Chris Alb pulls it out for Coastal Point in first place with Sur la Amore. In first place in Division C, we have the Delaware State News for Blue Hen Guns. Our next category is Business Non-Retail Ad, Large Print Only. In Division F, Brittany Passon and Chris Elliott win for the Seaford Star, and they are in second place. Angie Hicks brings it home for the Crisfield Times, winning first for Chesapeake Health. Congratulations. In Division E, Ebony Brown of the Baltimore Jewish Times wins second prize, and Pontea Tafanji of Business Monthly wins first for Orchard Development. In Division D, Angie Hicks wins first prize for Sussex County Post for McQueen. Congratulations. In Division C, DJ Short and Bonnie Mannequin win second prize for Delaware State News, and their colleagues, Angie Hicks and Joy Ferrio, win first prize for the Everett Theater. In Division B, James Constantine and Noelle Hallman of the Frederick News Post snag first prize for Homewood at Frederick. Our next category is business non-retail ad, small print only. In Division F, Brittany Passon, Karen Sherricks, and Teddy Griffith of the Seaford Star win second prize, and DJ Short and Dave Cannon win first prize at the Dorchester Banner for Bayside Driving School. In Division E, Mallory Galaska and Kathy McGinty win second prize for Cape Gazette, and Sean Lambert of Coastal Point wins first prize for Zerona. In Division C, Angie Hicks of Delaware State News wins first prize for Ultrasound Express. Congratulations. Our next category is online only ad. In Division C, DJ Short of Delaware State News wins first and second prize. She wins first for Beauty Unleashed. Congratulations. Our next category is multimedia ad. And the Dorchester Banner sweeps the category, as does DJ Short and Dave Cannon, winning both first and second prize. Congratulations. Page One Design is our next category. And our second prize goes to Jesse Gateman of Southern Maryland News. And our first prize goes to Sean Lambert of Coastal Point for honoring those who served. In Division D, Gabriella O'Brien and Kevin Parks of the Catholic Review win first and second prize. They won first for Ready for the Future. Congratulations. In Division C, Tala Ashraf of the Star Democrat wins second prize, and Stephanie Lindholm of the Daily Times wins first prize for Bright Light in This World. In Division B, the Capitol sweeps the category. In second place, Jason Armstrong, Jerry Jackson, and Barbara Haddock Taylor win second for Navy graduation, and Jason wins it alone, first prize for the Capitol for a miniature Woodstock. Congratulations. In Division A, the staff of the Baltimore Sun sweeps the category, winning first and second prize. Congratulations. In feature page design, our next category, our winners are, in Division F, Mike McClure of Seaford Star wins first prize for Holy Costumed Characters Batman. In Division E, Maggie Lynn of the Washington Business Journal wins second prize, and the Art Department of Washington Jewish Week wins first prize for unmasking the origins of Purim costumes. In Division D, Gabriella O'Brien of the Catholic Review sweeps the category, winning both first and second prize. She wins first for Show Me the Honey. Congratulations, Gabriella. In Division C, Tala Ashraf of Cecil Whig wins second prize, and Angie Hicks and Bonnie Mankin of the Delaware State News win first prize for Halloween Gang page. In Division B, Samantha Bang of the Frederick News Post wins first prize for Real Wedding page. Congratulations. And in Division A, the staff of the Baltimore Sun wins second prize, and Ginger Garrison of the News Journal wins first prize for finding their truth. Our next category is news page design. In Division F, the Baltimore Business Journal wins second prize, and in first prize, Stephanie Redding, also of the Business Journal, wins first for no vacancy. Congratulations. In Division E, Dan Olds sweeps the category for the Washington Informer, winning both first and second prize. Congratulations. In Division D, Gabriella O'Brien of the Catholic Review wins first prize for Seek the City. In Division C, Sally Covey of the Star Democrat wins first prize for Grain Bin Rescue. In Division A, the staff of the Baltimore Sun wins second prize, and Take Uda of the News Journal wins first for the War on Books. In sports page design, our next category, the winners are, in Division F, Mike McClure sweeping that category, winning second prize for the Seaford Star and first for the Laurel Star with perfection. Congratulations, Mike. In Division E, Washington Jewish Week wins second prize with their art department, and Ebony Brown of the Baltimore Jewish Times wins first prize for the love of the game. In Division D, Gabriella O'Brien of the Catholic Review wins first prize for Culture Shock. In Division C, Jesse Cristio of the Daily Times wins first and second prize. Congratulations. In Division B, Josh Smith of the Frederick News Post wins first prize for one win away. And in Division A, the staff of the Baltimore Sun sweeps this category, winning both first and second prize. Congratulations. Our next category is news-driven informational graphics. In Division F, Stephanie Redding of the Baltimore Business Journal sweeps this category, winning both first and second prize. Congratulations, Stephanie. In Division E, Tara Marks of Cape Gazette also has a sweep, winning first and second. She wins first prize for Medical Directory Survey infographics. Congratulations. And in Division D, Gabriella O'Brien of the Catholic Review wins first prize for class of 2022. And in Division A, Tracy Rawson and Steve Early of the Baltimore Sun snag it for women and education by the numbers. Congratulations. Our final category today is news-driven art or illustration. Our winners are, in Division A, Tracy Rawson snagging second place, and her colleague, Kevin Richardson of The Sun, winning first prize for 25 Women to Watch. And now we come to one of our organization-wide awards, Designer of the Year. Designer of the Year recognizes a single designer who shows creativity and the ability to design across platforms. This award requires a letter of recommendation from the designer's manager and samples of the work. There are 3 nominees this year. Our first nominee is Gabriella Ferraro O'Brien of the Catholic Review. Chris Gunty, associate publisher of the Catholic Review, writes in his nomination letter that Gabriella joined our staff in late 2021 and has brought new ideas and a fresh outlook to our newsroom and pages. He goes on to say that the Catholic Review was redesigned from front to back with a greater emphasis on bigger pictures, white space, and creative typography. The new branding played into a redesign of the website as well. Chris has seen Gabriella strive to improve the Catholic Review magazine with each issue. She contributes to the regular newsroom discussions with story suggestions and ways to present those stories in an attractive manner with breakout boxes, call-outs, and more. For redesign and wonderful work throughout the year, the Catholic Review nominates Gabriella Ferraro O'Brien. Our next nominee is Jennifer Quinn of APG Media of the Chesapeake. In his nomination letter, Tyler Edwards, the Regional Director of Digital Sales and Marketing, says that Jennifer is the Swiss Army knife of our creative team at APG Media of Chesapeake. If you need a designer to single-handedly breathe life into a seed of an idea for a wedding website, or a photographer to roll up their pants and wade into the knee-deep water of a fountain to capture the perfect picture of a bride and groom, Jennifer is the one our company turns to. In the past 2 years, Jennifer has thrived in our fast-paced, ever-changing work environment, and that pressure and stress has made her confident in her abilities, has helped her find her voice, and fueled her desire to produce exceptional work. For those reasons, APG Media of Chesapeake nominates Jennifer Quinn for Designer of the Year. Our last nominee is Tracy Rawson of the Baltimore Sun. Trifalatsis, publisher of the Sun, writes in his nomination letter, asking, take a look at Tracy Rawson's design portfolio, and you start to get an idea of her versatility. Hand-drawn typography, news graphics, magazine covers, online presentations, and illustrations are just some of the ways she reaches readers through design. Tracy uses her keen eye to pick the most compelling photos that illustrate the content and help tell the story. She works to ensure that our community's diversity is well represented in her design by highlighting illustrations, photographs, and other images so that readers see themselves in our pages. Whether designing pages and online content about women in education or a magazine cover about weddings, Tracy is comfortable presenting visual displays of news or feature content. Her superior news judgment shapes what readers see and read. She is often writing the headlines, editing the stories, and designing the pages. For those reasons, the Baltimore Sun nominates Tracy Rawson as Designer of the Year. Now, I can't tell you who's going to be the final winner of Designer of the Year. These are our nominations, and this award will be announced along with our other organization-wide awards on Friday in person at the MDDC Conference in Annapolis. Congratulations to our nominees. Congratulations to all of our winners in our revenue generators, targeted publications, best moves, and design categories. Please join me tomorrow when we focus on photography, online, video, commentary, features, and sports categories. We'll wind up our week with Best of Show and organization-wide awards, as well as a recap of our first and second place award winners at the MDDC Conference and Awards in person in Annapolis on Friday. I hope you'll join me tomorrow and every day this week as we celebrate the best journalism in the region. Thank you so much, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.